So keep alive again. Now I would like to request Mr. Joy Kumar Ghosh to come forward and present his paper. His presentation ID is HQH0101. So big round of applause for Mr. Ghosh, and now floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair, Rapporteur, Professors, and present everyone. I am Joy Kumar Ghosh, a graduate student in Soil and Environment Discipline from Khulna University. And it's a great pleasure to present my research on assessment of heavy metals and microbial contamination around the soil of Rajbandh Landfill Site, Khulna, Bangladesh. So let's move to the introduction. We all know that rapid urbanization and inadequate waste management have become the critical environmental challenges in many developing countries like Bangladesh. And whereas Rajbandh Landfill Site is the major source of collecting, combining waste in all of the Khulna city, and it is causes the environmental pollution, contamination, and causes the significant soil quality degradation, ecosystem health, and as well as the public health impact. So in this study, we aim to evaluate the extent and distribution of heavy metal accumulation as well as the coliform contamination in the soil of surrounding landfill site, and by integrating the geochemical indices, total spherical coliform count, and the multivariate statistical analysis approach. As the research gap, we identified that many research have been published yet, and at this site was the distribution of vertical distribution subsoil and topsoil was limited, and we tracked to the distance gradient of the metal distribution in this area. So this will be shown in the Microbial section. So yes, this is the figure one showing our study area. So almost 78 samples were collected from the 13 different locations and maintaining the distance of 0 meter, which is the end of the landfill site. You can say the edge of the landfill site, and 25 meter and 60 meter as well as we conducted different site which was 380 meters far from the landfill site, which is counted as an uncontaminated site, and soil collected from the two vertical depths 0 to 15 centimeters, which is topsoil, and the subsoil 15 to 30 centimeters. And as well as this is the total workflow of our soil sampling to laboratory analysis. Let's go through the material section. So we use the evaluation of geochemical index such as geoaccumulation index IgEO, emission factor EF, pollution load index PLI, and also the ecological risk factor ER. Also we count the coliform contamination using the total colony count address as the colony forming unit per gram soil. As well as we practice the multivariate statistical analysis using R programming, which was principal component analysis, cluster analysis, and Pearson correlation analysis. So let's go to the results and discussion section. So this is the figure 3 showing the concentration of cadmium. This is the overall concentration of cadmium in the 4 distance gradient in the landfill site, which shows the all of the sampling site is exceeds the WHO permissible limit. So yes, this is present the toxicity of all the sampling site. Then the figure 4 showing the chromium concentration in the topsoil and subsoil in different sampling sites. Where chromium shows a very low concentration and doesn't exist any of the sampling site of the WHO permissible rate. So this is the chromium level is safe in landfill site. And the figure 5 show as well as the same pattern like the cadmium, it exists all of the sampling point of the WHO permissible limit, and figure 6 showing the concentration of iron, which is the naturally origin. So yes, then the evaluation of contamination level. So this is the figure 8 showing the pollution load index of the all sampling sites in the landfill site. The higher near landfill at the top soil 0 meter, this is the 4.24, and subsoil at 46 meter 25 meter, this is 3.50. So strongly to extremely polluted, and decrease the pollution rate with the increasing distance from the landfill site. And the figure 9 shows the ecological risk factor, which is ER, and we can see the mostly ecologically risk element is the cadmium in this landfill site. So cadmium is dominating the ecological risk in this landfill site, then following the lead, then chromium. So cadmium is the high risk at 0 meter. In the topsoil is 166.45 in concentration, and the considerable risk at the subsoil 0 and 25 meter. Next, the lead is the considerable risk at 25 meter and moderate at 0 meter and low at 60 meter, and as well as in the reference site. So I say down here that the reference site was the uncontaminated site. Okay, then and chromium is the low risk at all sites. And we've also computed the multivariate statistical analysis, like the principal component analysis shows the topsoil and subsoil data, but the PCA one shows the 58.8% variance for the mostly all variables like cadmium, chromium, lead, and total and fecal polychem, as well as the organic matter, which is showing the anthropogenic sources accumulating in this landfill site. In the PCA2 shows the only 14.1% variance for iron. This is the natural origin or geogenic process. Whereas in the top subsoil is following the same pattern. In the PCA1, 53.7% of variance is the same variable cadmium, lead, chromium, total fecal polychem, and organic matter, as well as following the same pattern in the PCA2. Yes, then the cluster analysis further
Last 2 minutes.
Further confirm the analysis of the principal component analysis. The cluster 1 grouping is the cadmium, chromium, lead, total fecal polychem, organic matter, and the cluster 2 is the iron and PA, which is the natural origin, and P is there was the in normal range. So this is not a problem. So subsoil showing the same pattern, and overall both layers show the two clear group anthropogenic metal sources and microbial indicators versus natural background. Then the Pearson correlation analysis further confirm the strong positive correlation with total fecal polychem, or the relationship of positive relationship is 937, and cadmium and total polychem was 0.75, and following this one. And iron shows the weak correlation 0.01 to 0.11 with the metals and microbial count. So further is confirming the geogenic process. Therefore, the Pearson correlation further support the principal component and cluster analysis, showing cadmium, chromium, lead, total fecal polychem share the landfill derived sources for the spreading the pollution over the landfill site. So yes, in conclusion, so cadmium is mostly the ecologically spreading contamination.
Last minute.
So in a topsoil and 25 meter as well, and lead is the next position after the cadmium, and chromium was the lowest concentration in the all sampling site. So yes, so in the recommendation section, we can recommend to prevent this kind of pollution from the landfill site is the engineered landfill and the defect treatment to prevent soil and subsoil contamination, and long-term monitoring. So our study is focused on the single season. So if there is a single seasonal variation, so this will be more data to generate. Okay, then we must raise the public awareness to educate, communicate on soil contamination and public health risks of this topic. So, and government should need necessary action to transform waste into resources, and these findings can integrate into policy.
Yeah, your time's up. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your good presentation. So, can you show me the whole slide? Okay. And put it here for the good. I have no question for you. It's a very nice design.
Thank you.
No questions.
Thank you for your nice presentation. Well, big round of applause for the Mr. Ghosh for his nice presentation. By the way, so the final final one. Last but not the least. So I would like to request Rabita Hassan. Is she here?